Hey everybody, welcome to Bura. In this episode, I'm going to be giving my review of the Kraken exchange. Alright, welcome back for this video. Make sure that you like, subscribe. More subscribers to get, the more content we can make. Number one reason why you subscribe to this amazing YouTube channel is to get in the money-making trends before they go mainstream. Alright, so today is going to be Saturday for you, and what I'm going to be talking about today is Kraken. Now, I'm going to be resuming my Udemy IPO, but before Udemy did IPO, I talked a lot about technology, and cryptocurrencies is one of the most amazing technologies out there. And I want to talk about the Kraken exchange because I've tried a bunch of different exchanges over the years, and Kraken is by far my favorite. So I am going to give a review. So here's the thing: Kraken is actually really good. Now, there's a couple things that's kind of annoying about Kraken, but nevertheless, it has become my favorite exchange. So if you don't know, if you need to go onto, or if you want cryptocurrency, you have to, well, put it somewhere. And you can actually do this with your own wallet, like your own USB drive, but a lot of people just go onto exchanges. Now, Kraken, like the other one is COINBASE, right? COINBASE is pretty good. And for one thing about cryptocurrency is that if you are just a person that just wants to just buy a bunch every week and forget about it, Coinbase is probably the option for you. But if you really want to take it to the next level, Kraken is where it's at here. The thing is that Kraken has a lot of features that I really like, and one of the things that that I really like about Kraken is, well, frankly, the support and the staking. If there's two things I like about it, it's probably that, all right? And so if you look at this here, the essentials here, this is just off their website here. It has really good security, right? And security is obviously important. Whether you're buying or you're selling an asset, you need two-factor authentication at the very least here. There's very little fees on it, and the support is really good, okay? And, you have a bunch of different options here. Now, I don't use a lot of these options here, just because, you can use margin to trade up to 5 times the leverage, which is way too much leverage for me personally. But if you're the kind of person that wants to do that, please be careful, of course. You can do that with Kraken here. You can trade futures. You have an over-the-counter service. And then there's a bunch of different things that you can do here. And one of the things that I really like, which I'll talk about later, is that you can actually get your corporation, if you run a company, to get a Kraken account. And that is really key, okay? So if you look at all the security basics here, you have Google two-factor authentication here. There's emails, withdrawals. It's very secure, and the way they've set it up, after I've worked on it for many times here, is it's so incredibly secure. You're not going to be selling your crypto unless you actually do it. So if your account does get hacked, and as of now, I don't think Kraken has been hacked. I think there was something minor, but nothing big here. So it's very good here. Okay. So the other thing is funding your account. Now, for whatever reason, it allows me to fund in euros, which I don't understand why. But nevertheless, if you look at this, if you're from USD, you can do all these different options here. You can now Etana is kind of like a third-party wire service, which is really good here. But if you live elsewhere, like in Australia, right, you can definitely do all these options here. If you live in Canada, you do wire transfers, and then if you're in Europe here, there's a bunch of different things you can do. Now, you can also buy with your debit card, which is also really good. I have heard that some banks block it, which is super annoying, but whatever here. Now, the other thing is, so funding it is actually pretty big, and of course you can send items to your wallet here, and it's actually really good here. So I've sent things from Coinbase, from Crypto.com, everywhere in here. So let's see. And does it have, that's not what I'm looking for here. See all available coins. Does this give me to the wrong link? I think it does here. But it does have a lot of coins. It doesn't have obviously all the coins or one of the newer coins that you might see. But it does have a lot of the coins, which is actually really good here. Now, if there's one reason I love Kraken, it's because of this staking here. Now, if you don't know what staking is basically putting up your coins as collateral to do the work to make the all crypto work. So Bitcoin is a proof of work here, and what that means is that you get people competing for the transactions to confirm the block here. So you have a block, and then you have to do a math problem to solve that block of transactions. So now, if you, let's say, have 10 people running the same calculations and they all get, let's say, 95% done, well, that's 9 people that are going to lose out, and then one person's going to win. And that's why Bitcoin is not very green, is because you have, like, the failure rate of, in this example, like 90%. So they're all doing and all burning that energy for that one here. And it does work, by the way. Proof of work is really good. The other thing that you can do is proof of stake. And proof of stake is basically the same concept, except there's a random number generator that basically goes to a specific person, and they ask that person to generate the block here. Now, the incentive with proof of stake is that when the person who's mining that, well, it's not really mining, but who's ever doing the calculations, puts up their own coins, right? And when they put up their own coins, if they get it right, they get more, but if they get it wrong, they get subtract coins. And that's what proof of stake is. So that validator stakes the coins, and then they get a reward, right? And so whenever you see the percentages, which I'm going to show you down below, you have to remember that that's exactly what's happening. So you can see that there's a bunch of different cryptos that you can stake here, and it's really, really good. So I stake my Polkadot, my Cardano, and my ETH2 here, okay? Also my Solana as well. Atom, yes, I also have some Atom here. And this I actually stake on COINBASE. But anyway, I do stake that on COINBASE just because they gave me the option, but I actually get a better thing here. So I might even do that here. But the one thing I'm really looking for, which I'll probably do a whole other video at some point, is Kava. Now, Kava is a service that allows you to lend out cryptocurrency, and that is going to be huge. You can even stake your Bitcoin, which I'm not sure quite how that exactly works here. But the other thing you can do is you can actually get rewards on your US dollars, 2%. Now, this is way better than any kind of bank at this point in time, or if you're in euros. And I think that's pretty good here. Now, no, this is giving me the support page. It's not what I'm looking for. But anyway, so this is something you can do. And so what this means is that when you stake something, you're basically getting more coins. And if you're holding it, it's pretty good here. Now, this brings me to my next thing. So when you're on any of these exchanges, you need to have an exit plan, because let's be real here. You're going to take your profits at some point. So what do? Well, one option is that you move things to a stable coin, right? And that's really interesting because the stable coin so if you have, let's say, $100,000 of Bitcoin and you move it to Tether or whatever, you have 100,000 Tether, which is, exact what the US dollar is. And the US dollar goes up and down, et cetera. So if Bitcoin then crashes down to 50,000, you can take that Tether and buy 2 Bitcoin or $200,000 worth of Bitcoin, whatever it is, right? So that's one thing you do. The other thing you do is you can move it straight into cash. And the thing about Kraken is that it does have that, right? You can actually move things to US dollars. You can move it to a bunch of different currencies. You can move it to like Swiss francs, Canadian dollar, Australian pounds, euros. You can move it to all these different kinds of fiat assets, and you can wire transfers those out to your bank. And I think that's absolutely amazing. So, in terms of, if you want to take your profits, back previously, like in the last bull run in like 2017, a lot of people, what they did is if they didn't like going into Bitcoin, they would move it to fiat at the end of the night, right? So they day trade all day and then they'd move it into fiat so that, you don't get the volatility overnight, right? And so the thing is that you can do that here. And, most banks will let you have some kind of US dollar account if you're international. So I would just move it to US dollars. And there's a bunch of different options here. Now, remember, so let's say you buy, I don't know, just pick any one of these really, like Cardano, for example. So let's say you got Cardano, you double your money, and then you move half of it out to US dollars. And you can either move that to your bank account or you can buy another cryptocurrency. The other thing you can do is you can actually switch these cryptocurrencies on here. It's really good. So staking is by far my favorite part here. Now, obviously, I'm not going to stake my US dollar here and then not my Bitcoin. But I'm really looking into this. In the next bear market, I'm going to definitely be loading up on this, just because it makes sense to be able to accrue more coins at any given time, and I'm probably going to dollar cost average that, right? But I am going to do a little bit more research on this. So far it looks pretty good, and I'll be giving a full review on Kava. So just remember that here, okay? Now the other thing about Kraken that probably is the best, is one of the best parts, is the support. Now Coinbase is notorious for not giving support, and that kind of gives you a different, a kind of view into. It's a publicly traded company and it has terrible support, right? And it's extremely, well, it makes a lot of money. So it skims on support, and you're dealing with people's like finances. So it kind of strikes me a little bit odd, and it kind of makes me wary of the whole platform. I would really like them to have better support. Anyway, 24/7 live chat. And look at this, you can actually talk to them. I actually haven't called them, so that's kind of cool. I might call them. That sounds really good. But yes, it's the best in the industry. It's definitely up there. I mean, obviously, it's kind of hard to say it's the absolute best, but nevertheless, every time I've interacted with Kraken, it's been, one day business emails and everything has been resolved. It's been good. So, if you're going with your trading here, right? Now, again, you can do margin trading. I wouldn't recommend it, but if that's something what you're into, let's see, the account management, okay, crypto watch. Oh, so the other thing in the Kraken account is that you get all these kind of graphs and whatnot, and they're actually really good. So if you're the kind of person that uses this technical analysis, like and like Bollinger Bands or strength here, anything like that, you can do it here. Now for me, I don't really, so I look at technical analysis more on a larger time frame. For me, cryptocurrency is like, okay, I make money, I put it into crypto, but I have to watch it because it's incredibly volatile, right? So I'm not the kind of person to day trade crypto. I thought about doing that, and I might do that in the future. I might take so if you're gonna start day trading, you take like $5,000 to $10,000 and you kind of do that here. But I'm too busy doing other things, right? That's just me personally. Okay, so I think this is more about security here, and I'm trying to look at the institutions here. Now, there's a lot of really cool things here, but the other thing, and this is really key, and in the next bear market, I have an account with Mammoth with crypto. And next bear market, I'm going to start putting in money every month to it in a variety of different ones. And you can remember, you can stake it. So, you might get a tax advantage if you're staking, depending on where you are. So that's something that's really cool here. But I'm surprised that you could do this because, when you set up account personally, there is a lot of regulatory hurdles that you have to go through. Getting companies to do it in all these different jurisdictions, wow, that's a lot of work here. So there's a lot of work behind the scenes here, and it's pretty awesome of what they can do. Very quickly here, I want to talk about where you can use Kraken. Now this is, now I'm going to talk about the two cons of Kraken, and this is one of them. The second one is the mobile app, and I'm going to talk about that in a second here. But the short answer is, okay, so if I'm going to go to North America here, and I'm going to go to the United States because most people watching are from the United States here. So unfortunately, if you're from these two states, you can't use Kraken. I don't know why, but you might be able to use, like if you really want to use Kraken, you can and you have a company in a different state, you might be able to do that. Yeah, I don't know why they do this. It's probably some really weird restrictions, but these two ones in particular, yeah. So anyway, there's there are some other restrictions here. Like you can take a look at this here, but for the most part, if you're, I guess if you're from these states, you can't use euro pairs. So there's some really some really esoteric uses, and then there's cryptocurrency restrictions. Okay, look at that. So there's all these different ones that you cannot use if you're from the United States, and it's kind of weird. Now, Kraken is supposedly based in California, but for whatever reason, when I buy things, they're all in euros, right? So if you go to Canada here, there's a few things here, and there's a few different ones that you can't use. Is there anything in there that I really see that is really important? No, sushi swap. Okay, there's not really anything in there, and right. So if you're from, other places, like let's try Australia, right? So let's see what is most services. I mean, there's a few things here, and it looks like you can't use these ones. So anyway, the basically you can use these in most places. So like New Zealand. Look at that. New Zealand. Okay, I should do a whole video about New Zealand, just because they do things right in New Zealand, and it's no wonder that a lot of the rich people have properties there, just because, yeah, it actually doesn't really. Wait, North Korea does not. Okay, so if you live in North Korea, you're out of luck, right? Let's see, Japan. Oh, look at that. So, there's a lot of really cool things in South Africa. Look at that. You can do everything in South Africa. So it's kind of weird. So if you live in the United States, there's things you can't do. But if you live in South Africa, you got the whole thing for you. So that's pretty good. Anyway, so those are kind of the weird restrictions. And I guess that's kind of an issue with Kraken. Is that if you live in like those specific states, you can't do it. You can't do certain things, or you might get charged a fee for converting to euros at some point. Anyway, it's kind of odd. So that's probably the first con, is that it's not open to everyone. Whereas Coinbase, I guess they lower the features to make sure most of them are available to everybody. But I'm sure there's some exceptions there. The second thing is the app. The Coinbase app is really good. The Crypto.com app is really good. The Kraken app, I can't really do anything but view my account. So all of my stuff I have to do on a desktop. And so if I was in some like situation where I had to sell and I was like on the road, I couldn't do it, right? Like I have to go to a desktop to do it. And that's crazy. And so that's, I guess, probably the biggest con with Kraken, is the fact that I have to go to to desktop to do this stuff. Now I hope they fix that in the future. I'd like to be able to do all that stuff here. Oh, by the way, you can trade like those the margin and the options on the app, I think, but you can't do like the crypto. You can't stake things, and I would say that's probably the biggest con. But nevertheless, so in conclusion, Kraken is probably my favorite one here. Most of the time I am on the computer, so that's really good here. And yeah, I think it's really good, and it's really awesome. So if you're looking for a good place to hold, and specifically to stake your assets, then I highly recommend Kraken. All right. So let me know your thoughts down below. Do you like Kraken? What's your favorite exchange? How much are you staking, and which ones do you think is the best cryptocurrency to stake here? And remember that this channel does new Patreon, and we sell digital products down below. Please buy our products because it helps make this channel and my company possible. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.